Intro to Crime Scene Reconstruction. Crime scene reconstruction refers to the process of developing the likely sequence of events by observation and evaluation of physical evidence and taking into account witness statements. We're not going to focus on the witness statements part so much in this class because we're focused on physical evidence. So what this really refers to for our purposes mostly is taking a set of evidence that is given to you and trying to use it to create a bigger picture about what actually happened. The crime scene can only be properly reconstructed if the scene has been appropriately secured and searched. Think critically for a moment about what would happen if you hadn't actually secured the scene in the first place. What does it mean to secure the crime scene? Remembering, securing the crime scene involves making sure that it's safe, boundaries have been established, and that personnel, indeed people in general, are all accounted for. Everybody has a job, a discrete role. They know when they should start, they know when they're done, because they have one job to do. They'll go back to the command center, they'll get a new job to do once the first one's been satisfactorily completed. If you haven't actually secured the crime scene, you don't necessarily know who's coming and going. The possible perpetrators may not have been apprehended. All the victims may not have been identified. You may have bystanders, nosy neighbors coming and going and disrupting evidence. If you haven't actually secured the scene, you have no hope of properly reconstructing that scene. If you haven't properly searched the scene, of course, you're going to leave evidence behind. And if you don't have all of the evidence towards in a given crime, you're not going to be able to paint an appropriate picture. For this, you'll be employing the scientific method. As you saw in the last slides, steps include observation, witnessing something, in this case, evidence at a scene. You'll form a hypothesis. This is a one-sentence statement regarding what you think happened. In high school and middle school, oftentimes a hypothesis, they say, it has to be an if-then statement. It does not. A decent hypothesis is just a statement that says, based on what I've observed, this is what I think happened. Based on seeing the crowbar marks that Jimmy'd open a window, an open window, a busted screen, a broken table underneath the window, a path of muddy footprints towards the TV, and a missing TV, I think my hypothesis is somebody broke into the house through the window by jimmying it open, walked in, and took the TV. That is a testable hypothesis. You can look back at the evidence to use to reconstruct that. You may also be able to get eyewitness accounts after the fact. So you get the neighbor saying, oh yeah, I saw somebody carrying a TV out of the house. I figured they were just getting rid of it. That's a statement that can help towards testing it. And it needs to be falsifiable. Falsifiability is extremely important in the scientific method and is extremely important in your creation of your hypotheses. If you write a hypothesis, you come up with a guess as to what happened, that one sentence statement that says what you think happened. If you can't be proven wrong, then what you're doing is you're just setting the stage for a sequence of events that's ultimately going to result in just the confirmation of your own biases. They're not going to have any kind of grounding in reality, and you're not going to take the evidence at hand into proper account in an objective, reliable way. If you can't be proven wrong, you can't be wrong, and you have to be able to be wrong. You have to be able to take new evidence into account and change your mind as that evidence is presented, not just in criminal justice, but in the scientific community. That's a major central tenet of the scientific method. You'll then make a prediction based on the hypothesis. So the prediction would be this person broke in, they got out this other way, this is where we can go get them. You can test it. In this case, this would be representative of actually reconstructing the crime scene over the course of space and time. Iteration, use results to make new hypotheses or predictions. So if you get new evidence, you need to revise your hypothesis. You need to revise your prediction when you revise your hypothesis. If your statement about what you think happened changes, then the prediction about what would have happened since then theoretically has also changed.